Look, Arsenal were lucky. Arsenal were lucky. It was this fine margins in football. But you see, when you are top teams, when you are pushing for the title, you need luck. You need luck. When you want success, you need luck. There are some of these things that come along the way. And Arsenal rode down their luck. Because look, I really don't understand how they walked away with all 3 points against Aston Villa. Aston Villa did really was a very good tactical display for them. You could see clearly what they wanted to do. Arsenal, on the other hand, just struggled. They just didn't see themselves. And you could understand because of the sort of form that they were coming on the back of. They hadn't won in their last 4 games. A defeat against Man City, Everton, a draw against Brentford, and then if you remember the defeat against Manchester City in the FA Cup. So Arsenal on the back of a very poor run heading into this game was Villa Park against their former manager Unai Emery. I expected a very tough encounter. In fact, I expected Aston Villa to give them a push and even claim all 3 points. Villa took the lead brilliantly, high line from Arsenal. They exploited that. Oli Watkins getting the goal. Arsenal's equalizer for me was just pure class from an excellent technique from Bukayo Saka. Once it was 1-1, it looked like Arsenal were more likely to get the second goal. And then against the run of play, Coutinho kills in a brilliant goal. But after that, it just shows you how good this Arsenal team have become in terms of their mentality. I expected them to crumble. Why? Because of what we had seen in the weeks before. But to be able to regain that composure and try and push for an equalizer. Clearly, they knew they had to win the game. But in order to win the game, they had to get it level and bring that belief back. And it was from excellent technique. Poor defending from Aston Villa. Zinchenko choosing to shoot from outside the box. That's just pretty how desperate Arsenal were, because they were not playing their sort of football. Yeah, they created some 1 or 2 chances, but they were not playing the sort of football that we have seen Arsenal play this season. He shoots from outside the box. Emi Martinez, I personally don't rate him. I personally don't rate him as a goalkeeper. I think Arsenal did a very good job by letting him go, and we are seeing why. And when I say we are seeing why, I'm talking about on a consistent level. When you look at his goalkeeping ability over the stretch, he's just not up there. When it comes to penalties, yes, he did his part in the World Cup for Argentina to win, but that doesn't mean he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's not top 10, top 20, top 30 goalkeepers in the world. Fine. But at 2-2, it was any side's game, anybody's game. Aston Villa hit the bar. They had a couple of good chances. Ramsdale made a very good save. Arsenal themselves could have gotten the lead. Edin Ketia missed some chances. But then when you look at, and I'll not call it a Emi Martinez own goal. Personally, I take it as a Jorginho goal. For me, it just typifies when I made the video about why Arsenal signed him. That's his experience. Look, when you try and things are not going your way, ask yourself first, when was the last time you saw Jorginho shoot from outside the box? He rolled on his luck. He took his chance. Look, things are not working. We are desperate. We need something to happen. I have the technique. I have the ability to hit the target from this range. Why don't I ride my luck? And he did it. He hit the post. He hit Emi Martinez. It's a goal. Nobody cares how the ball goes into the back of the net. When you are desperate, you don't care whether it's an own goal, whether it's a 30-yard strike, whether it's a tap-in. A goal is a goal. And Jorginho managed to get that goal. You see, that goal just instantly gives Arsenal belief again. If you even watch the commentary on social media, you look at Arsenal fans, in the past couple of weeks where they seemed like they were falling back into old habits, having it and then bottling it, all of a sudden belief has come again, because in a game where it looked like they were not going to get anything out of it, some way, somehow, they don't care whether it was luck, but when these things start to turn in your favor, you start looking at yourselves and asking yourselves, like telling yourselves that, look, it's actually possible, we can actually go all the way. And then that last minute, again, I'm not really a fan of goalkeepers going up. How many times have you seen goalkeepers going out to score? For me, come on. Yes, he dashes them, but frankly speaking, at the time, Arsenal had already won the game. At 3-2, Jorginho's goal, you really didn't see how Aston Villa were going to pull back. Or let me put it this way, you didn't see how Arsenal were going to allow them to pull back. Arsenal are just too experienced to let Villa get a late equalizer. So that 4-2 Martinelli's goal, fine. Done and dusted. Arsenal got the 3 points. Then Manchester City. Goodness me. After the great work you have done in the past couple of weeks to try and claw it back and get the lead back from Arsenal, you are facing Nottingham Forest, for goodness sake. Yes, look, in the past couple of weeks, months since the World Cup, Nottingham Forest have built up some nice run of form where they've moved out to the relegation zone. But This is Man City, for goodness sake. You have just beaten your biggest rivals away from home 3-1. You're taking on a Nottingham Forest side, which has shown to be porous. In fact, you beat them 6 in the first part of the season. Two different teams, as I said, they've built up in some nice run of form. But this is Man City, for goodness sake. The wastefulness on Man City's part, I just didn't understand it. As experienced as they are, they needed to understand the importance of a second goal, especially away from home. Once it's 1-0 and it's heading into the last 10 minutes, you sort of present the game to your opposition. You just know that they are going to get that one chance. And for Man City, especially in the last 10 minutes, when you look at the scoreline and you understand that it's still 1-0 and you respect the opposition enough to know that they have that one chance and they could punish you, you have to use your experience. And your experience is keeping the ball. That is what Manchester City does best. For me, they should have taken the steam out of the game, slow it down, kill the momentum that Nottingham Forest are trying to build. You don't want them to get a flurry of chances, one chance or one shot or goal, where the fans will get on their back or ahead of themselves and start putting pressure on you, the Man City guys. You need to keep the ball, take the steam out of the game, frustrate them. They didn't do that. And funny enough, Chris Wood, of all people, oh goodness me, he gets the goal. Now it's done and dusted. Now you are in trouble. It's 1-1. And just a couple of days, 3 days after you have retaken the lead from Arsenal, in a matter of hours, Arsenal have managed to crawl back from a situation that looked like was supposed to end in defeat or a draw. They managed to claw a win, and then you, from a comfortable position against Nottingham Forest, end up drawing, and now you lose the lead again to Arsenal. Unforgivable from Pep Guardiola's side. But again, there's still a long way to go. I still tip Manchester City to come back and win this title. But again, if Arsenal continue to play this way, if they continue to get results this way, and you can tell that the winning mentality is beginning to come in this team. That ability to claw back, grind out results is a mark of a top team or a championship team, and Arsenal are exhibiting that. So that makes the title race really, really juicy. And another team that is also trying to sneak its way back into the title race is Manchester United. 3-0 win over Leicester City. And again, this is what I love about Erik ten Hag. You can see the body of work which he's doing in this team. You can clearly see. These are basically a large chunk of players who were under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who were under Ralf Rangnick. All of a sudden, he's turned this team, he's improved the players, turned this team into this winning machine. And Rashford is he's on fire. I don't think I've ever seen Rashford play this good or be this consistent. And what I love about this Rashford is that I used to criticize him back in the day where he seemed a bit satisfied. So he goes on this nice vein of form and he feels pompous. It's like he feels like he's arrived. This time around, it's like every single game he wants to extend that scoring run. So you see there's a sense of urgency in his game. He wants to score. He wants to score one. When he scores two, he wants another one. And that is what we need to see from forward players. That selfishness, it needs to be part of you. And that ruthlessness, because that is what makes the top class forwards the top class forwards. They are ruthless. They are never ever satisfied when they score one goal. And we are beginning to see that with Rashford. But Man U were brilliant. In the first 20 minutes, in fact, the first 5 minutes, Man U dominated. After that, Leicester City were just all over Manchester United. After surviving that wave, Rashford's goal came against the run of play. That was the end of the game. Man United were just brilliant to watch. Attacking display, chance after chance after chance. Defensively, they look solid. And congratulations to David De Gea, equaling Peter Schmeichel's 180 clean sheets for Manchester United. Brilliant record, and he deserves it. Even in the Leicester City game, you see, it's something that he contributed to that clean sheet. That first half save, point blank save from, I think, was Iheanacho. Absolutely brilliant. That is something that deserves or is worthy of a record. When you make that sort of save and then you end up with your clean sheet, he absolutely deserves it. But Manchester United, the problem is, can they stay consistent? We've seen it in the past couple of weeks. Beat Crystal Palace and go level with Man City. They drew. Beat Leeds United, go level with Manchester City. They drew again. So Man United has this tendency. You see, when you look back as a United fan, you add those 4 points, which were very winnable games, to what Man United has at this time, they would have been above Manchester City. and that would have been closer to us. Now Manchester United is very much in the title race. As it stands, if you are looking in terms of points, Man United are in the title race. You can't be 5 points off the top and tell me you are not part of the title race. They are. The fact is, will they embrace it? Will they empower them to continue and actually strive for the title? Because it is possible. If you look at how Man City and Arsenal are faltering these weeks, in these past couple of weeks, my point is, just do your part. You never know what will happen. Just concentrate on what you are supposed to do. Beat who is in front of you. Win. You never know what will happen. You never know where your opponents are going to drop points at. Who would have thought that Arsenal would have lost at Everton, drawn points against Brentford at home? Nobody would have thought that. Who would have thought that Manchester City would go to Nottingham Forest and go and draw? Nobody would have thought that. So just keep that your consistency, especially the winnable games that are in front of you. Make sure you get the 3 points. If you are dropping points against your rivals, that is cool. Or teams that you are battling for, let's say top 4, if you draw against Newcastle or something, that is cool. But you can't be dropping points against Crystal Palace, Leeds United at home. You can't. Manchester United need to get ruthless. From this, they need to build on it. And you see, it is such a critical stage in the season where, again, you don't know what will happen. So if you do your part, you never know. You could just as well be ripe in that title race, and then who knows? It will be a 3-horse race going into the latter weeks in the season. Let me talk about Liverpool before we go. I've been very impressed with them in the last 2 games. My very good friend Cody Elikplim Gakpo, 2 goals in his last 2 games. Brilliant player. It was just a matter of time before that boy settled. Just a matter of time. He is too good technically, too intelligent for him to come to the Premier League and flop. It just wasn't going to happen. I just knew it wasn't going to happen. And playing under a manager like Jurgen Klopp, you just knew that it was just a matter of time. Once he began to tick, or once he settled down, it was going to be done and dusted from there. Going away against Newcastle and beating them by 2 goals to 0 is a remarkable feat. This current Liverpool team taking on this current Newcastle team at St. James's Park under the lights on an emotional night. Look, Liverpool were excellent, and I just hope they're able to build from there, because when you look at their problems, I feel their problems are more excusable than Chelsea. For Chelsea, I don't even want to talk about Graham Potter, because he needs to be sacked as quickly as possible. He seriously needs to be sacked as quickly as possible. My point is, when you say you want to give somebody time, it needs to be based on something. Somebody must have a reputation where you can stand boldly and say, if I give you time, he'll be able to turn things around. Graham Potter has done nothing in his professional career to deserve this time that Chelsea fans are insisting, or Graham Potter faithfuls are insisting he should be given, because he has never finished in the top 5. He has never, if he's not finished in the top 5, he can't finish in the top 4. He's not won a trophy. And if you haven't done that and you're managing a team like Chelsea that is a winning machine, granted, this is not the Roman Abramovich era, but it doesn't mean that Chelsea should lower their standards because Abramovich has gone. They are still a winning machine. Yes, maybe you may not be for the culture of hiring and firing. That is fine. But when you hire, make sure that you hire the right person who deserves time based on reputation to be able to go the long haul and take you back to your successful days. Don't just go and hire somebody who has done nothing at the highest level. When I say the highest, I'm talking about top teams, not the Premier League. Top teams in the Premier League, because there's a clear differentiation factor. You can't just go and pick somebody and kind of put him in your team and then say, let's give him time because it will turn it around. No, at all. And if you use the Arteta example, Arteta is not yet there. He's won 1 FA Cup in a career that spans 4 years. He has not yet won a Premier League. Even if he wins a Premier League title, he is still not on the same level as the Klopps, as the Peps, as the Tuchels and co, as the Contes, the Mourinhos and co. It will take time. It's going to take him another 10 years to be able to reach that level of consistency, because top managers, top teams are consistent. You don't finish 8th, 5th, 1st and say you have arrived. No, you need to be consistent. So for Potter and for Chelsea, honestly, the sooner they get rid of him, the better. But for Liverpool, I feel like they have a very strong chance of finishing the top 4 based on the run that they are beginning to put together. 2 games, their last 2 games, 2 clean sheets against Everton, against Newcastle, which looked like a very tough fixture on paper. They've managed to ride through that. And you see, the way Newcastle are beginning to falter, they drew against Bournemouth last week. they lost against Liverpool this week. That top 4 race is slowly becoming open. The race for the 4th place, I think Man United have gapped them a bit, and I don't think United will drop out of the top 4. So the likes of Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool have a chance. They have a chance of making that top 4. And for Liverpool, it's the consistency. And I feel like Liverpool have it more in them to be consistent or pull together a consistent run to be able to reach the top 4 than Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm tipping Liverpool. I actually want Liverpool to finish in the Champions League. I don't know, but I think it will maybe because of my bias for Cody Ellie playing Gakpo. But I think this Liverpool team is just too good to play in Europa League next season. It will just be painful, especially because I know that they will fix their problems in the summer, and the squad that they will have in the summer going into next season will just be too good to go to the Europa League. But that's just my 2 cents. That's my weekend review of the Premier League. If you want me to talk about anything specific, just leave it in the comment section, and let me just hear what you have to say generally about what happened during the week in the Premier League in the comment section.